Her business went from zero to 300,000 or 400,000 a year in a couple months. People always want to know what's the secret. That's the secret. The secret is to just do those things. Just do the work. Don't procrastinate. Be diligent. It's ridiculous. It's like a dream client for us marketers because they just naturally attract clients from all over the place. It's just because they do the simple things.
Yeah, I need more window stories, man. Because that is honestly so good. And the other cool part about it is that Preppy Life commented on the first one and was like, "Oh, I didn't know you guys did Facebook ads." Not that that's even the ultimate point, but it's just awesome content. Because that story rocks, and it's so simple. That's what I love about it. Is all the stuff that you do that is successful is usually like so simple that no one's thinking about it.
Yeah, well, it's always like the simple stuff that works. The more complicated something gets, like the more things that can go wrong, and that's just not how the world is. Like every time I'm listening to somebody, if they make it sound complicated, that's my signal that they have no idea what they're talking about. Because people who are really good, who really know a subject well, like they make things sound so simple. And the story about the window guy, it's common sense stuff, but they get lost in it. They value the wrong things. They forget that really all a business is somebody who's willing to give you money for some kind of experience. People get too focused on the wrong things, like the money part. And then it's kind of what they always say, like if you try to chase a rabbit, you'll never catch, or try to chase a cat, you'll never catch it. But if you just sit still, like the cat will come to you. Like money's kind of the same way. You make people happy, money's gonna come to you like all the time. But if your only focus is to make money, it's gonna be really difficult. If you're really good at getting other people what they want, then you'll never want for anything.
And I love that you gave away like the whole like everything with that window thing. You showed the ad and everything. It's all free game because a lot of people try to keep stuff like that secret.
Yeah.
Like why? I think that's what makes it so valuable.
It's one of those things. Like this happened to me with a friend. I ran Facebook ads for him, and since he was my friend, like I shared my screen, I showed him every single thing I do. He was there the whole time. We did the whole 90-minute from zero to ads running thing. So we sat down, I interviewed him about his product, I helped him come up with some offers and showed him how I was putting the ads together. We ran ads for a while and they were stupid successful. We got tons of leads from it. It shocked both of us. We had no idea it was going to be that successful. And then about a month later, he was like, "Hey man, will you like teach me how to do that?" And I was like, "Dude, I already did." I literally showed you every single thing that I do and talked you through it. It really is that simple. You put something out there that people want and they're gonna come for it. It's just funny. Like I have one of my employees, same thing. He's, "Dude, you gotta show me how you make those Facebook ads work so well." And I'm like, "I already showed you. Like I show you all the time. I explain this all the time." He's like, "I don't believe it. There's got to be something else." And it's like, no, there really isn't. Like that's it. That's all it is. And like the window guy, yeah, like the ads are cool and it's cool to be able to generate leads and stuff, but the ads don't matter without him behind it. Like he goes through, he treats people well. He's a great communicator. He's great at sales and he always goes above and beyond to make his customers happy. And they hire him and they refer him out to as many people as they can. And that's why his business is successful. If he only got the projects from his ads, he'd still be successful, but like only a fraction of what he is. And so it's all about making his customers happy and being diligent. So you wanted me to tell stories about other clients, and one of my clients that comes to mind, she's actually been on my YouTube channel before, but her name's Whitney and she's a lawyer actually. And she was one of those cases where we did like our foundational marketing system, just simple, a website, Google Maps, 30 to 45 days. She had 30 plus reviews on her listing. We wrote some content, we gave it to her for feedback. She poured through and rewrote the whole thing and had it back the very next day. She was one of the most conscientious people that I've ever worked with, meaning like she was just on top of it immediately. Anytime we needed something, she had it immediately. We never had to wait for anything. And when we said it was important to get reviews, she went out and she got tons of reviews. And people always want to know, what's the secret? That's the secret. The secret is to just do those things. Just do the work. Don't procrastinate. Be diligent. When your marketing company that you paid thousands of dollars to says that reviews are important, go get reviews. Her business went from 0 to 300,000 or 400,000 a year in a couple months. And like, she has been at capacity pretty much since she opened the doors. And because, we did this marketing for her right when she opened. And the only thing slowing her down is people and capacity. She never hurts for customers. And she doesn't even really need marketing because she works so hard for her customers that everyone refers her to everyone. So it's ridiculous. It's like a dream client for us marketers because they just naturally attract clients from all over the place. And it's just because they do the simple things. They make their customers happy. They work hard. They don't procrastinate. They get reviews. And that's it. That's all it really takes for most of those businesses out there.
Are there any other differences between someone like Whitney and the people who struggle to get leads? Because I know that the people who struggle to get leads, I think, is the majority. Is it mainly just because they're overcomplicating it and then therefore not taking action, or is there more to it?
I think that's a lot of it. I think a lot of people overcomplicate things. I think a lot of people, they avoid the things that they know will work because of some reason. Like, a lot of people will never go door to door. They'll never do that. They're shy. They don't want to seem salesy. For whatever reason, they won't do it. Even if that means that they could have a customer in less than an hour, they would rather suffer through learning Google ads and spend thousands of dollars and not really get results because they're avoiding this uncomfortable situation or situation that they perceive as uncomfortable. I see that all the time, like, because we do mainly online marketing. So people are coming to us because they think they can skip all the hard parts by just doing online marketing. Oh, I can just get all the customers I need on Facebook. That way I don't really need to talk to anybody in real life. And that's just not how it works. It's if you cannot sell something, if you cannot sell your product or service to somebody in person, you are going to really struggle to sell it on your website or through ads. You need to understand your customers. You need to have that experience of just talking to them hundreds and thousands of times. That's how you know what to do. Your customers will tell you, but you have to talk to them a lot. So I think that's the biggest thing that holds people back is they know what they need to do. They're just avoiding those things for some reason. And then they're trying other stuff. I have a lot of clients that they'll pay us thousands of dollars to do really great marketing for them, but they won't get reviews. They won't ask their customers for reviews. Maybe they'll ask once, but they don't want to bug them. They don't. And it's, look, if someone sees you on Google and you've got one review, that's not going to do anything for you. You might as well just go door to door or something, do something else. So, yeah, everybody overcomplicates everything because usually the answer is right in front of them and they know what to do, but they're avoiding it for some reason.
Yep. I can relate to the Google reviews thing because with the IT company, we spent a lot of money on AdWords and Facebook ads, and we sponsored a couple of magazines that were local. We did a lot of roundabout marketing. And then the only thing that was still working for us was referrals and specifically asking for referrals, not just waiting for them. But the online didn't start working for us until we started getting Google reviews. Once we started focusing on that, it only took about 30 or 40 reviews to get into the top 3 of the map pack. And then magic, the phone started ringing.
I've done similar things. I used to be really afraid of sales calls. I hated sales calls. And so It wasn't that I wouldn't get on sales calls, but I wouldn't follow up. I would rather talk to a new person than follow up with someone. And it's stupid because you need to follow up with most people before they'll buy from you. So I did the same kind of thing. I would just try this and that and the other thing, and I tried a million different things except the thing that would work. And once I finally got over the hump of doing enough calls to be comfortable with it, and I started following up with people, I started making quadruple the number of sales. And I even had people thanking me for following up. 6 months later, call someone out of the blue and they're like, oh, thank you so much for following up. I actually am still interested in this. And it was like, oh man, here I was thinking that I was annoying people and they're thanking me for calling them. So I guess the biggest hurdle for most people is themselves. One way or another, like they're just getting in their own way. Some of the most successful people I know are the ones who, like, I'm not going to say they're dumb, but they're just like, they don't make things super complex. He shows them something that works and then they just do it. They don't question it. They don't try to think of a new way to do it. They just do it over and over and over again. And their companies or whatever, their success blows up. And I always look at them, I'm like, what the hell is my problem? Like, why am I making this so difficult? Maybe I'm too smart for my own good. Like, I'm making things harder than they need to be.
Those types of people, man, they're childlike in a way. Because when we're born with no mental limitations, no baggage, no one's told us what's possible or not yet, and the world is our oyster. And over time, we get flavored with other people's opinions, and all these limiting beliefs get put onto us. And so, I think those types of people, they've just been blessed with a life that hasn't put those limiting beliefs on them, or maybe they were just born with this armor that keeps it from sticking. But I think most of us have a lot of limiting beliefs like that we need to shed. And it's really tough to do so.
Yeah, the key word there is belief. Like, it really is that. I have a friend, you know him too. We have a mutual friend. Like, he's the kind of guy, he takes an online course. He does exactly what they say in the online course, and then is super successful with it. He just follows the instructions. I could take the same course, and by step 3, I'm like doing it different. Like, it's crazy. I don't know why, but that's just kind of the nature.
Well, you know that Facebook strategy I told you about? That I got that from a course, because I was taking a course that was basically like how to build a micro content video business. And I was like taking bits and pieces of it as I felt like they made sense. And the whole sales piece it was too simple. And so I was like, it can't possibly work. That sounds way too easy. Like, it's got to be too good to be true. And so I put that part aside. And after a few weeks of not getting customers, I was like, I'm not getting customers right now. And these dudes have told me how they do it. And it seems like, why am I resisting this? And it was like a slap me kind of moment of, I've been so silly. So I did it to a T. And sure enough, 2-3 days later, I was getting leads. And then that made me reflect on how many times I've done that with so many courses and so much advice over the years, where people have just laid it all out very simply and clearly. And I've had that thought of, that sounds too simple or too easy. That's silly. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it my way because I know so much.
Yep. We all get in our own way. Yeah, you were saying limiting beliefs a lot earlier, and it does really all come down to beliefs. Like, there's a lot of people that I know, especially ones that are just getting started, and they run out of steam quick. Like, they'll learn a new technique or something that they're going to try, and they'll go really hard for a few days or maybe even a few weeks, but then they give up and they're like, oh, this isn't working. I'm going to go try something else. And they find it really hard to commit. And I've been in the same boat. I've done this countless times. And it really comes down to belief. If you knew for sure that if you walked 100,000 steps in one day, if you knew for sure that you would make $500,000 if you just walked 100,000 steps in one day, you would go walk 100,000 steps tomorrow. You'd find a way to do it if you knew for sure. But when we're in business and when we're trying new things, like, we don't know for sure yet because we haven't done it. And so we don't really put all the effort that things require sometimes. And I see this in advertising all the time. Like, I know people who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on ads, and they do it because they know they're going to get results, and since they track their figures, they have a pretty good idea of what the results are that they're going to get, and they know that, and so they put the money down. They don't even think twice about it. But I talk to people all the time who are wanting to advertise for the first time, and they're like mortified to put $500 down on it. They're just so afraid that they're going to waste the money. And you have to get over that hump, because that same person 2 months from now, if they have success with it, now they're not going to be afraid anymore. They have the belief. They believe it's going to work. And that's pretty much everything we do. If you really believe that if you go to the gym every day for 6 months, you're going to look super ripped, and that's what you want, then you're going to go to the gym. But people, their beliefs in themselves falter, and then they end up not doing what they need to do. It happens across the board all the time to all of us. There's limiting beliefs holding us all back right now. But I like to ask that question to people is, if you knew for sure that if you made 20 cold calls a day, if you knew for sure that if you did that for a year, you'd make $1 million, would you do it? And most people would be like, yeah, of course. And it's cool. Go make the calls.